Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another figure review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my first Hiya Toys exquisite basic figure from Godzilla 2014. And we have the Muto, female Muto right here specifically. I'm actually quite excited about this figure. I know I'm quite late to reviewing this one, but I had to wait for Big Bad to get this in stock and then ship it to me with my pile of loot. So I wanted to get this as in commemorance because there is no articulated Muto figure. So without further ado, let's take her out and see how she looks. Alright, so here we have the female Muto, and by golly gosh, it took me a while to get her here. It's, when did I start recording this? It is 12:04, and I started this at 11:45, so it's been around 19 minutes for me to kind of like figure out how to get her posed and everything. I will say she has some issues, so realistically, like, she is actually pretty cool. I already like the actual design that they have for her going on, very accurate to what the movie showed us, even though it was very dark in that movie. In the Blu-ray DVD release. In the actual movie itself, when it came out, it was actually pretty decently clear enough to actually see Godzilla and the Muto. I might also be taking a look at the Godzilla 2014 that's coming out later this year or next year, I think. I don't remember anymore. But with this Muto, she is sculpted beautifully and painted beautifully. You can see all the differences between the washes and the actual plastic. It is absolutely magnificent. The red eye looks so freaking good in my opinion. I think they did a really good job for this figure, and I have seen reviews of this figure already. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten it myself. So I think it's available at Big Bad Toy Store right now if you wanted to get one. Although they might be sold out, I'm not entirely sure. I think they are sold out, but realistically, this figure is already good. Now, one thing I will say, some paint chipping will happen. So I will suggest you figure that out first, kind of clean it up first, get all that paint chipping already gone and all that kind of stuff, so you can have a pretty decent figure right off the bat. And it's only $51, so it's already pretty freaking good looking for only $51. So articulation, this figure has a ton of articulation, a bunch of hinges, swivels, and some ball joints, I think. It might be one or two. But starting off with the head, she can look down this far, pretty much just basic position. She can look up slightly above the actual back section of here, of the back that kind of retracts down to the actual body, is soft plastic, so you could push it down a little bit if you wanted to. You do have a hinge for the mouth, which the mouth is actually beautifully painted as well, in my opinion, so already good on that front. You have hinges, not hinges, but like just pegs, swivel pegs for the arms, and then you have a hinge for the arms to extend them outward as much as you wanted to. That's as far as they'll go. It's as far as they'll retract without any issues. I will say, do put this under hot water, in my opinion, because some of the joints are very tight right off the bat. Or, again, just use your handy dandy silicone oil that you have lying around if you have it. But everything else, from the arms all the way to the actual, I'm guessing, toes, are hinges with a ball or a swivel that you can swivel them. So hinges, again, very tight in some areas, like the actual big joints. Down in the lower areas, not so much, but there is a clear difference. For example, this one, slight force resistance. This one, not so much. So you can definitely see the differences between the tightness of the joints. They do swivel. This section swivels. This toe swivels. the arm or like the elbow-ish swivels, and then you can move them however you want, which I think it's really nice. You do have a sort of torso swivel that you can move side to side as if you wanted to. The outer arms here, they have hinges on the sides to kind of like a butterfly joint to extend them outward and backwards. You do have hinges on the arms. They're not the greatest hinges. They're looser than any of the other pegs, but they work. The long arm right here, you can swivel them as well. This section right here is a little tight, but you can also use the hinge and swivel it a little bit. And of course, the toesies, you can swivel those. Very nice overall. Now you get the arms in the inside, which you can move them with a hinge. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, they do swivel a little bit. So I'm guessing it's a ball peg right inside of there. Not entirely sure. This figure can't crunch, by the way. So it's pretty fixed, but you do have like the hands right here, the claws that you can move back and forth and swivel them around however you want, which is really nice. And sort of getting to the back of the figure, you have the same mechanism as the hands or the front legs for these rear legs, and the actual legs instead of the bug arms. So you can move, kick back about this far without any resistance, and kick forward about that far with, again, little to no resistance. You do have the hinges over here. It's a little bit tight for mine, so do be careful with it. It does swivel a little bit, not too much. And you do have the hinge for the calf right here. Again, do be careful, probably put some shock oil. It feels like ratchet joints, which is really nice. So there isn't gonna be like super looseness whatsoever. So yeah, and of course you have your swivel on it, and then your foot, you have a hinge as well, and no swivel actually. Very interesting. So no swivel on this one, which is fine, I think. I don't think you're going to really use it. But overall, I think the articulation, everything else is really nice. This figure doesn't come with any accessories, which kind of does suck, but for $51, I think it's pretty good. Something I didn't use, is the length of this figure from the toes, like sitting down all the way to the back of the fin, is around 6 inches, which is really nice. I think in terms of comparison with other figures that I have in my collection, it'll look really, really nice, especially with the Godzilla and Kong figures that I have. So, sort of leading into my final thoughts, I do think this figure is pretty freaking good, in my opinion. So, I am going to give this a 9 out of 10. The reason for it is I think the joints kind of right off the box are a little bit too tight in some areas. It kind of worried me that I was going to actually break it, so that's one thing. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's my only issue with it. I think the paint job is amazing. The articulation is amazing when it's not tight and it works as it's intended to. So overall, the aesthetic of this figure and the articulation of this figure is really good. And I'm happy that we finally got like a really good articulated Muto figure, especially female Muto figure, that can go with any other Godzilla. And I'm pretty sure this is in scale with the SH Monster Arts Godzilla, so if you didn't want to get the Hiya Toys 6-inch 2014 Godzilla, you don't have to. You can probably use another one from your Monster Arts collection. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have for you guys today. I think this figure is overall really nice and really good. So I would suggest that if you actually are able to find one, because they're pretty hard to find here and there. So that is all the time I have for you guys today. But let me know what you guys think about this figure specifically down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.